Joaquin, it's Jim Acosta. I was wondering if you could tell me what happened to you.
I appreciate your curiosity. I was taken from this world too soon due to gun violence while at school.
Bring on the floods. Honestly. Like, modern society is so cooked. What the did I just watch? Up next, we're going to talk about a genuinely kind of sick and disturbing thing that just happened in media, featuring ex-CNN reporter Jim Acosta, who is now doing his own thing, his own independent broadcast on Substack and YouTube, and flailing and seems very desperate for attention, because that's really the only conclusion I could draw from his latest stunt. He just featured on his podcast a interview with a AI avatar of a dead person, a teenager who was killed in a school shooting, tragically, whose parents have now created an AI of them, reanimated from the dead, that he interviewed on his podcast, Jim Acosta did, to push gun control agendas. So listen to this clip and try not to get goosebumps and creeped out, but you will.
But first, today is August the 4th. That happens to be the birthday of my first guest. Joaquin Oliver died in the Parkland school shooting in Florida back in 2018, but his parents, Manuel and Patricia, have created an AI version of their son to deliver a powerful message on gun violence. Manny asked me if I'd like to be the first reporter to have the chance to interview Joaquin, whose nickname was Guac. I've talked about him on this show before. Knowing Manny for several years now, I consider him to be a good friend. So, of course, I took him up on the opportunity. So here's that interview using artificial intelligence, as well as a conversation I had with Manny about this experience to connect with Guac. Take a look.
All right, if you want to share anything or have questions, I'm all ears. Just let me know.
Joaquin, it's Jim Acosta. I was wondering if you could tell me what happened to you.
I appreciate your curiosity. I was taken from this world too soon due to gun violence while at school. It's important to talk about these issues so we can create a safer future for everyone. What would you like to know more about?
Joaquin, I would like to know what your solution would be for gun violence.
Great question. I believe in a mix of stronger gun control laws, mental health support, and community engagement. We need to create safe spaces for conversations and connections, making sure everyone feels seen and heard. It's about building a culture of kindness and understanding. What do you think about that?
I think that's a great idea, Joaquin. We definitely need more of that.
I'm so glad you think so. More kindness and understanding can truly make a difference. Together, we can create a world where everyone feels safe and supported. Anything else on your mind?
Bring on the floods. Honestly. Like, modern society is so cooked. What the did I just watch? That is the creepiest thing I have seen in a long time. Could we not reanimate dead people with AI? That is so weird. And look, my heart goes out to the parents. They are grieving still, I'm sure, and I can imagine that loss. So I'm not judging them for wanting to do this. I'm judging Jim Acosta, for the reporter, for saying, yeah, this is great. Let me uplift and promote this. I really want to put this on my show. What? It gives desperate for relevancy. It really does, because his independent show is not doing well. And it gives that he's just desperate for attention. And then also, any way of doing this is creepy to me, like reanimating dead people via AI and then interviewing them or talking to them. But like, to do so to push a partisan political agenda is even more gross. Really, like, I'm sorry, I don't need the AI of that's been fed the diary of a deceased teenager is not going to tell us anything new or insightful about gun control policies and their efficacy or lack thereof. This is just like emotional manipulate. It's just an attempt to guilt trip. It doesn't actually add anything to the substantive debate. And so it seems grotesque to use this AI like this at all, but especially in a political or partisan manner. And honestly, I watched the whole thing. I'm not going to make you, don't worry, but I do want to show you another clip here. It's weird. This is weird.
Joining me now to talk about this is Manuel Oliver. Manny, great to see you as always. I have to say, I'm kind of speechless as to the technology there. I mean, it was so insightful, and I really felt like I was speaking with Joaquin. It's just a beautiful thing.
I understand that this is AI. I don't want anyone to think that I am in some way trying to bring my son back. It's sadly I can't.
Right.
I wish I could.
Yeah.
However, the technology is out there, and we can. There's two things. I can hear his voice again, which is something that Patricia loves. Patricia will spend hours asking questions. She, like
Wow.
any other mother, she loves to hear Joaquin saying, "I love you, mommy."
Oh my gosh.
And that's
Oh my
important.
gosh.
And on the other hand, we can just raise our voices, and now Joaquin is going to start having followers. It's not Manny, it's not Patricia. He's going to start uploading videos. This is just the beginning.
So again, guys, my heart breaks for the parents here. I highly doubt that it is psychologically healthy for them to do this, or that this is, like listening to his voice. It's not him. Now, again, people grieve differently. I'm not judging them for that, but I would encourage them to maybe unpack that with a grief counselor, whether that is really productive. Um, on Jim Acosta, though, here's where can and will be critical. That was not beautiful. That was freaking creepy and gross, especially the way you politicized it. Your fake interview with this weird uncanny valley AI imitating a dead teenager. It did not remotely actually feel like you were speaking with him. You just lied. Like, that is so not true. The AI thing, I mean, I guess it's kind of impressive as a technology, but it is still like very not lifelike at all. And the answers and the responses and the voice are very robotic. So you're just lying. And again, I didn't have a lot of respect for Jim Acosta coming into this, but wow, what remained of it is not in the room with us anymore. It has left the station. Frankly, it has departed the universe. One final clip of this, and then I won't make you sit through any more.
And what's amazing about this, Manny, is that, we've heard from the parents, we've heard from the politicians. Now we're hearing from one of the kids. That's important.
Yeah, and
that hasn't happened.
It's really important. Like, there's always been some leadership on Joaquin's side. Everything that Patricia and I have done, it ends up being an extension of Joaquin. But this is a way better way to explain it. And moving forward, we will have Joaquin on stage in the middle of a debate.
He's a symbol of something that is deeply, deeply wrong with this country, and that we should not allow our kids to be subjected to this kind of just terrible violence. And I said it at the end of the interview that you are inspiring to me, Manny, and so is he. He's a symbol that should inspire us, I think. And that we shouldn't stop believing that we can fix this problem, because people give up, and I think something like this is maybe going to give some people some hope.
So maybe it's just me, but that did not give me hope. It gave me the creeps. And I'm sorry, but when Jim says, we've heard from the parents, we've heard from the activists, now we're hearing from the kids themselves. No, you're not. You absolutely are not. You're hearing from a creepy robotic imitation of one of the deceased teenagers. To say you're hearing from the kids is not true and is very bizarre. And the idea of putting this thing, again, it's not a person. It's not the teenager. Like, it's a robot on stage in the middle of a debate or as part of a political presentation serves no actual purpose other than emotional guilt tripping people. Like, seriously, it doesn't further any substantive or rational debate whatsoever. And I again also have to take issue with Jim Acosta on this idea that, well, we allow mass shootings and school shootings to happen because we just won't pass certain laws. I mean, we can debate the efficacy of each individual gun control policy, and there's a few I'd be okay with, but a large part, I think most of them wouldn't work and would be counterproductive. But regardless, there's no policies that would actually stop this or prevent this. That is totally, totally naive and not remotely credible. Now, maybe some could reduce somewhat, but as long as there are guns in America and there are very sick, very depraved, very mentally ill people, terrible things will happen. And even if there weren't guns, terrible things can happen. You look at what's been done with trucks and cars and other ways to enact these horrific acts. So it's just totally disingenuous and dishonest to say, well, we just choose to allow this to happen by not passing my preferred policies. Total BS. But frankly, that makes it pretty typical for Jim Acosta. Still, this is a new law. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments and hit that like button while you're at it.